Let's talk about something that's as common as it is needlessly judged. Grey hair. For decades, it's been linked to aging, to tiredness, or letting yourself go, really giving up on yourself. But the truth is that greying is genetic, it's hormonal, and often starts in your 20s, for a lot of people at least. Yet the pressure to cover it up is relentless, typically for women, especially for women in this country and worldwide. Salon visits every 3 weeks, hiding visible roots on Zoom calls. The emotional and financial tax of looking young is just absurd. Now a growing number of women are done playing along. They are trying to bring in a change.
But do you remember that they're really not making a statement? And that's something they say too. They're just living their lives without dye. And maybe it shouldn't be called big words like bravery. It's literally just that simple, embracing themselves as they are. And in the public eye too, we have seen this shift. Actresses like Neha Dhupia proudly sporting her signature grey streak. Dimple Kapadia's legendary hair, she's let hers grow out on camera. Samira Reddy's Insta is full of silver selfies. And in the West, women have been repping this for a while now. You've Helen Mirren, Jamie Lee Curtis, Andy McDowell, all normalizing what should have never been abnormal at all to begin with.
So this morning we're joined by 3 women who've embraced their greys without apology and without turning it into a hashtag movement. Joining us now, Anjana Dubey. She's a blogger, creator of Sparkling Silvers, and one of the first voices online to document the grey hair transition in this country. Saraswathi Anand, fitness coach and marketing head, who brings both biceps and silver streaks to boardrooms and beaches. We also have Mythri Jonnala, whose viral bridal photo with grey hair shut down every stereotype in the book. Hi, 3 of you. Lovely to have you with us this morning. And what a lovely frame. Love this, really. Can I start with Anjana? Anjana, you've turned greying your hair into a movement. You are essentially wanting more and more women to embrace the idea. Where did that thought first come into your mind? How did this journey begin for you? Tell us more.
Yeah, for me, I started graying at the age of 13, and at the age of 30, when I thought that I need to ditch the chemicals on my need to embrace my hair, I was looking in for inspiration around, and I couldn't see much kind of women who were young and going grey. So as I was going grey, I thought, why not I must document my own journey to inspire others also. And at the same time, I started my blog also. So I think this is the only thought that inspired me to be on this journey and help others also.
Wonderful. We want to salute all of you. And again, I know we don't want to make this sound as if it's like a very, very brave thing when it is just embracing natural, but it is still really cool and just lovely to have you here. But Mythri, if we could come to you, we'll just pull up those visuals of yours that went viral. These were you as a bride. Mythri, tell us, and to our entire panel, share the details you're comfortable sharing. Don't share what you're not. But we do want to ask, Mythri, when did you start graying? Tell us what you're comfortable with. And also tell us, when these bridal photos went viral, you obviously didn't predict it. But tell us about that process, deciding, okay, I'm going to, stick through with my grey hair. Was it a thought? Was it something you didn't even need to discuss because your family already knew? We know Mythri, she loves keeping her hair the way it is. Tell us about that.
So, I did start graying in my early 20s. So a time where I was kind of enjoying being young and independent and things like that. And I was going grey at that age. But I was always, I decided that I wouldn't color just because, the first one is that it's really inconvenient. It's another thing that I need to add to my list of things to do that I really would rather not. And in regards to my wedding day, I think one thing I wanted for sure is I wanted to look back at them and recognize myself and know that this is actually what I look like at this point in time and give an accurate description to whoever I would show them to. So I think in that way, I feel like it's just the most accurate representation of me at that point in time. So it's like a good record. It's a true record.
That's wonderful, as it should be.
Yeah.
But
and just love your hair locks as well. It's looking lovely. Yeah, it's looking lovely.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Saraswathi, can I come to you? You're setting an example in so many ways. Silver hair, of course, that's the conversation we're going to take forward with you. But being a corporate woman, also the manner in which you're really setting an example, urging more and more people to lead a healthier life, ensure that they incorporate a healthy routine into their working lives as well. So tell us how this journey has been for you, and when did you decide to really give up on the colors and just be like, this is who I am, let's go with it?
I think I started graying like the others, probably late 20s and early 30s. That's when I started graying. And I went on coloring my hair right till my mid 30s when I discovered my autoimmune disease. And then it was a realization of here I'm trying to put band-aid fixes on my hair, trying to look young, but under the hood, things had gone wrong. And I said, what am I kind of doing this performative nonsense for? And I decided I would embrace what I was, and I'd kind of bring in strength and health from inside out rather than fix the external factors. And I just let the hair be. And of course, it, like everybody else is saying, it's another thing to do every 3 weeks. And then there is always these comments that, the tip of the hair starts turning gray, and everybody loves to point those things out. So I just decided I was done performing for people around me, and I would only serve myself, health-wise, mental health-wise. So I just threw it all to the winds.
It does take a lot of mental strength to reach that point, to just feel so strong, so confident in your true inner self that you're really not bothered about the world and the judgments that come along.
Yeah, can I ask to that question and to that point, let's go to Anjana and ask her. Anjana, women, well actually, a lot of people, women, men, but we're all fitting into society's idea of what beauty is, but women in specific are making themselves smaller constantly. So Saraswathi, you strength train, and I love strength training because it makes us bigger literally, but otherwise with dieting, for example, Anjana, we're encouraged to be smaller. Waxing, we're encouraged to remove our hair. So right from birth, we are constantly editing and censoring ourselves. Anjana, I want to ask you, tell us this, now that you let your hair out and you've let it grey, are there other practices maybe that you've also changed when it comes to like loving yourself exactly as you are? Because there are others that, might take more guts, like leaving one's hair in on their legs, for example. Have those things changed?
Yes, definitely. I have been more health conscious, and I have started taking care more of myself. I started yoga, and also a healthy eating, and ditching hair dye helped me to think on other aspects of my life also. So definitely I have changed a lot. It's a great transformation for me, and really I'm living a very healthy and happy life right now.
Wow. I think there's one thing that three of you all will agree with. At some point, it could be not maybe your husband or your parents, but someone in your inner circle who's going to point to your hair and just be like, why have you stopped dyeing? Why do you want to look older? I'm sure all of you all have faced that from somebody or the other who's important to you. Mythri, did that happen to you? Because it takes a lot to really come out with a bridal avatar with silver hair. That's something we've not seen very often. Did you hear it from your family members really warn you, this is not going to set a right example, it's not going to look great? What typical reactions that you got from everyone around you?
I was lucky. I had such a positive reaction generally. I've also never colored my hair, so nobody had seen me in any other way. I think when it started graying, I would try to cover it up. When you're putting kajal, you'll just take the leftover kajal and put it in your hair. So I would do that initially when it was like a few strands. But at my wedding, it was great. My mom was an inspiration for this. She started graying at 30 and she colored her hair for almost 20 years. And she just decided this is not working for me. This is not healthy for me. And so she went gray completely. She's a silver fox. And so seeing her like that, it was so inspiring and amazing to be like, hey, yeah, I look like that. I'm going to look like that. That's great. And I think for her, the change was abrupt. So she got a lot more feedback that was unsolicited. But I luckily was like in her, seeing her having gone through it and deciding that I would never color. So there's no abrupt shift in people's perceptions. People are just used to me like this now. So it didn't actually impact me in a negative way, really, at a higher level.
But
so that was great.
if that were the case, Mythri, let's say in your 20s, people are really not as capable of realizing that your true self needs to be just put out there, right? There's a little challenge that comes in terms of what your friends think. If you're going to your workplace, first job, for instance, what are they going to make of my age? How did you really conquer that fear?
I think the two things I realized was, like, if I don't think about it, if I pretend like it's normal, people will pretend it's normal with me too, for the most part. And like, they won't talk about it, and they'll just take it as part of what you bring to the table. And also, like, I find that if they do bring it up, most of the time, I think mostly from women, it comes from a lot of curiosity. It doesn't come from like wanting to make me do something else, but it comes from like, oh hey, like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this. That's so nice. Like, and that I always appreciate, because I always want to talk to people who feel like they have to do something a certain way to fit in. And it's like, hey, you don't have to be a complete rebel in your life, but there are little things you can do to feel like you're in control, and it's okay. So I feel like those two things are what helped me a lot.
Beautiful. And Saraswathi, if we could ask you, you have daughters, and so what that means is that you're modeling, everything you do, you're modeling for them too. What has self-love come to mean for you? You now have daughters who are going to school, and they will see other ideas of beauty constantly. They will come and ask you questions. What is your answer to them?
Thankfully, I have teenage twin daughters. And yes, this has truly helped, that they now think muscle and gray hair is completely normal for women. And I just about love that. They know that I can lift as much as their dad, and strength and looking. I mean, I think the establishment of beauty inside out is something that I'm trying to establish for them. Because when you're confident in your skin, you really do not need external validation, whether it's coloring hair or skin care, which kids are getting into earlier and earlier now. That is kind of reducing with my kids. They're completely confident in how they are, and I think I see it in their gait. They're extremely proud of me, but though they don't acknowledge it as often as I'd like them to. I hope I'm establishing that they don't need to perform to be accepted and follow the beauty standards that are set. And yes, waxing and body hair, that I'm trying to tackle. I'm not saying I'm all there, but I'm trying to tackle that to show them that that's normal too.
Oh, wow, it's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's an ongoing journey.
It is definitely a journey.
Saraswathi, that's as far as messaging to your children is concerned. What about your professional space? Do you get these kind of questions there too? And how is graying changed, if at all, what you feel about your own personality, in terms of authority, in terms of control at your workspace?
I think it's given me more. It's really added on, because now I think people take it that I have the experience, and probably the confidence somewhere does shine through. When you're so confident in who you are, and you're not probably accepting people's standards of how you should look and behave, I think it just sets about a bar of what they expect from you. Once they have accepted that, I think it's truthfully, when you're comfortable in your own skin, I think people just accept you. And they start looking beyond the coloring of hair, the makeup or body hair. It's just you being comfortable in your skin. I think that's the first bar one needs to cross. And once that's done, I think the platform is set.
Let me ask all three of you a question. Anyone can answer. You don't have to go turn by turn. But we just want to ask, do you think grey hair will ever be the epitome? It might be considered sexy on some right now, but do you think it'll ever come to be the epitome of sexy, or do you think maybe that's something women should just stop aspiring for in the first place? Or evolutionarily, will that never happen? What's your thought on that?
I mean, I don't know if the grey hair in isolation or silver hair in isolation is what will like add the sexy factor. So much of it comes from everywhere else, like who you are as a person, that ultimately you will make it sexy if you are like that as a person. You know what I mean? You will bring that yourself, and everything else will kind of support it. So
Yeah,
that's how
I'm waiting for the next Bond girl to be someone with grey hair. That's what I'm like.
Yeah.
But do you think that's changed? Anjana, you think that's changed? Because typically grey hair on men is considered sexy. It's like
George
the in
Clooney
thing.
for like the last 20 years.
It's the most acceptable version of a male lead in films. Elsewhere, has that changed to some degree for women? Because you're closely associated with that movement.
Yes, I would say that yes, it has definitely changed, and I would. It's my own experience that when I was coloring my hair, I never felt that much of confident because that was the time when
I think we've lost her connection, but I think she was going to say that's when she was hiding herself. Saraswathi, any last word from you on this? You have 2 young daughters. Do you think it's a silly thing to aspire for?
Not definitely. I think, like the others said, I think it's the confidence. I think men wear it with more confidence, and we kind of are apologetic about it. As soon as you stop being apologetic about it, I think it adds to the factor or the sexy factor or however it is. I think it's the confidence that brings it through and the confidence that shines.
And loved what you said, Saraswathi, just a few minutes ago, which is the first and possibly the biggest barrier is self-love. Once you reach that point wherein you've embraced what you are, who you are, what you bring to the table, I think half the battle or more than half the battle is fought. Thank you so much, three of you. It was wonderful having you this morning with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
so much.